Cardinals fans, but I know you know it's true. But Lions have a good young core here. I do like T.J. Hawkinson. A lot of people were questioning that draft pick. I do think he was one of the best players available. Personally, I would have taken Ed Oliver because they can't get to the quarterback, but they do need to give Stafford some weapons. Stafford is not doing well in Detroit because he has no one to throw to. No one can get separation. So I do like this receiving core this year. Kenny Galladay should be even better. And Marvin Jones Jr., he's still going to be the same guy. He's a good wide receiver. So they also added T.J. Hawkinson and Jesse James in the Hawkinson draft and James in free agency. I do think that's going to be a strong tight end core because James is good. We saw that in Pittsburgh, but just Vance McDonald is such a good tight end. He didn't get a chance to shine. He's not going to have that much chance to shine in Detroit either because they're really going to want to push Hawkinson to be the guy. But they're both going to be good tight ends. I also like the Detroit defense. The Detroit defense is underrated. They're a really, really good unit. Plus, if you didn't know, they had some pretty big free agency moves that Detroit did. They were underrated, but they did sign Trey Flowers. That was a big one for me because they did. Trey Flowers was able to get at the quarterback in New England. He should be able to do that in Detroit. Okay. They also signed Danny Amendola, which is exciting if you're a Detroit fan because he's really explosive. He should be able to add a great slot receiver. That's a great slot receiver for your team. And then finally, they added C.J. Anderson, which is exciting because that guy was the big fat bowling ball for the Rams in the playoffs, and he should be able to take the pressure off Kerryon Johnson and be a good secondary back. Okay, so this Arizona team did make some big offseason moves. If you didn't know, they claimed DJ Swearinger They claimed DJ Swearinger, and they got him off waivers. So DJ Swearinger is a really good safety. I mean, he proved it in Washington, and they just cut him because their coaching staff are morons. But he's going to be good, and he's going to help the secondary a lot. Now, thing that's going to be, they also signed Terrell Suggs, which we all saw. He's still good in Baltimore, but he's a future Hall of Famer. He's a great defensive lineman. You also have Jordan Hicks, which, to be honest, I think he's a really good middle linebacker, and he is going to definitely make this defense better. And then adding on to that fact, they upgraded their offensive line by signing J.R. Sweezy, and they signed Charles Clay to help out their new quarterback, and they drafted Kyler Murray. They also drafted Andy Isabella and Hakeem Butler, so they really do want this offense to thrive. And they do have a good receiving core with Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella, and Hakeem Butler, which means this offense should be good this year. But I do think Kyler Murray is going to have some rookie struggles in this game. This is the first NFL defense he's ever going against. It's going to be a struggle for him. And the Lions defense is not the best defense in the world, but it's not the worst either. And they do have a strong unit, which makes me think that Kyler Murray will make a lot of mistakes, especially against this Detroit defense. So I do think Detroit's going to pull out the win here. So next, we get our Sunday night football game. I'm sure all you guys are excited for this one. Steelers at Patriots. I'm sure all these Steelers fans are excited for this season because they do think they're underdogs. For the first time in a long while, the Steelers are the underdogs in their own division, which they don't have. Not all the teams are going to be scheming to beat them. All the teams are going to be scheming to beat the Browns, which means that the Steelers really do have a shot at this division as long as they play well. They got rid of all their locker room drama with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Juju Smith-Schuster looks like he's going to be a great replacement for Antonio Brown. And James Conner looks like he's going to be the next Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh. Now, the question is, can the other guys step up? So James Conner was a great secondary pack for Le'Veon Bell. Can Benny Snell Jr. do the same thing? And then also the question is, can James Washington do the same thing for Juju Smith-Schuster or Dante Moncrief, depending on who they want to go with? That's going to be the question in Pittsburgh, is can those two guys do the same thing as Juju and James Conner once did? Okay. So, if you didn't know, Steelers are 8-3 against the Patriots with Big Ben, which is not great. But I am excited to see what Devin Bush does in Pittsburgh. But I'm also excited for this New England team. If you didn't know, Antonio Brown just signed with the Patriots. It would have been great to see Antonio Brown against his old team. That would have been a fantastic start to the season. But unfortunately, he can't play until week 2. But I do think it's going to be a good game because this offense for the Tom Brady still has Josh Gordon, and they still have Julian Edelman. Those are 2 great guys. Those 2 guys might win this game for him, but I do think that the Steelers team is so good. I think they're going to win it, just close. Pittsburgh, a little bit over New England, but it's a close game. Okay, so we get on to our Monday Night Football slate. Texans at Saints. So, I don't know if you poor Texans fans out there, but I do think your team is good. I think they could push for a playoff spot this year, but I think the Saints would be my team for the Super Bowl. They have a fantastic team with a triplet of Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara, probably the best triplet in the entire league. It's just going to be this offensive line's not going to be bad either, and this defense is no slouch with Cam Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, Marshawn Lattimore, and then a whole bunch of other star players like Alex Anzalone, Demario Davis, who are underrated players but are still fantastic. And they just acquired Kiko Alonso from the Dolphins, which means this defense should be great. My only question is, can the defensive backs be just as good as Marshawn Lattimore? I think Chauncey could be a great slot corner for him this year, or nickelback. But my worry is that defensive backs aren't going to be able to hold up. But I do think the Saints are going to win in a blowout here. I mean, if you look at the 3 best Texans players, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, and J.J. Watt, it's going to be a good team. It looks like a fantastic team, but the offensive line is so bad, and it's just going to be such a question mark for them if they can protect Deshaun Watson. Okay, so now, the last Monday Night Football game, we got Broncos at Raiders. Okay. So, my personal opinion is I was so happy when the Broncos signed Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is a good quarterback. He's not flashy, but he can win games. He's not, if you look at Broncos quarterback since Peyton Manning to now, he's probably the best. I'm really excited to see Joe Flacco this year because I think he could bring the Broncos to a wild card berth. They are a really good team. Now, that being said, I am excited to see how the rookies play for Oakland. So we'll get to see Clelin Ferrell, Josh Jacobs, and Hunter Renfrow. And those are the 3 players I'm really excited about to see for this Raiders team. So Clelin Ferrell, everyone's surprised when he was picked number 4 overall. But I really didn't think that was that bad of a decision. I do think Clelin Ferrell is probably one of the best defensive linemen in the draft. I do think he's a fantastic defensive lineman. Would I have picked Josh Allen and Ed Oliver ahead of him? Yeah, but I mean, he's not bad, and I'm excited to see what he does here. Now, Josh Jacobs is going to be the primary back this year, which means he was never a primary back he was never the workload back he's going to have to be for Oakland at Alabama. So I'm excited to see how that goes. And Hunter Renfrow, and I really like this guy. I met him at the Senior Bowl. I have his signature. He's a really nice person, and he's a really great wide receiver. So I'm excited to see what he does in Oakland as well. So, also, I'm really excited to see Denver's offense and defense and the rookies. I'm excited to see Noah Fant. I know a lot of people were saying, Denver's stupid because they traded down when they could have had Devin Bush. But I don't think they were stupid. I think they might have had the best draft this year because they traded down. And, I mean, Devin Bush is a great, great player. But I'm excited to see what Noah Fant does as well. He's a really great tight end. And that's what they need they need playmakers on that offense that'll help Joe Flacco. Plus, they added Dalton Risner in the 2nd round, which makes me so happy. He let up 1 sack at his entire career at Kansas State. He's a great offensive lineman, and I do think he's going to be able to take this offensive line in the next step. He's going to be a great rookie this year. So I'm excited for this game a lot. But I do think the Broncos are going to run away with it because of the fact that they have such a better team than the Raiders do. I don't think this one's going to be close. Broncos win in a blowout. So now, we get to go to our upset of the week. So, you got Ravens at Dolphins. I know a lot of people are going to like Ravens at Dolphins. That's your pick for upset of the week. But I do think this Dolphin team. So what did we learn last year? Is you don't bet against Fitzmagic at the beginning of the season. And where's Fitzmagic? He's at the Dolphins. This Dolphins team is going to be a great, great team. No, it's not. That was a freaking joke. But I do think it'll be a good team in the first 2 or 3 weeks because Fitzmagic always plays well at the first 2 weeks. Also, we'll get to go against a good young core for the Dolphins defense in Xavier Howard, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Christian Wilkins. I think this is going to be a good defense this year. But, unfortunately, we get Dolphins. I think they're going to win close. Okay, now we have Popper's pick of the week. So, Popper, who do you think it is going to be? Bills at Jets. She picks the Jets. She always picks the Jets. But this week I do agree with her. I do think they made some big offseason moves with signing Le'Veon Bell, Jamison Crowder, and C.J. Mosley. Those were 3 huge signings for that team. They also drafted Quinnen Williams, which is going to be a great, great pick. I think this guy might be one of the best players in the draft. But the Bills also had an amazing offseason when they signed John Brown to help the offense, Cole Beasley, and Mitch Morse. These guys are all going to help Mitch Morse is going to help that offensive line. He's better to help protect Josh Allen. And they're going to have Cole Beasley and John Brown are going to be great receiving targets for him. And they also drafted amazing Ed Oliver. I can't believe he made it all the way to number 9. And Cody Ford. That's going to help them protect the quarterback and get after the quarterback. Those are great, great players. But I do think the Jets are going to win close in this one. I do like the Jets. They would be my wild card pick this year. They are a great team. So, everybody, that's GGB and Popper's Picks of the Week. See you next time.